Hello, friends. Ryan here, and it's time for more of Our Life Now and Forever, the demo. Really excited to play this game. It's so cute and happy and sweet. Last time I made my character, she's super cute and pink and happy. Bit timid, bit shy, like me when I was a kid. And she had moved to a new place, Golden Grove, with her mom. And it's time to go explore and meet new people. That's our new home, in the middle. Your shoes really squished into the dirt part when you crossed from where you were down to the solid road. The smell of the grass and rain-softened ground, crisp though somehow also kind of musty, hung in the air, bringing a whole new year of school with it. You're going to become a 5th grader. Oh, she's in 5th grade. Legally different from being just a 4th grader, not just because you'll be attending a new school. But in this game, eventually, after you do adolescence, you play up to 12 years of gameplay, so that'll be fun. So your character will grow. You can have romances, fall in love, have best friend, things like that. It'll be fun. You'd be in the highest grade of the place. Maybe that was why Mommy was so sure you could do this by yourself. You were growing up. But she was wrong. You weren't ready no matter how many adults said so. Then, before you took one more step, there was a faint tap against your shoulder. It was barely stronger than the wind, but it was definitely something, completely out of nowhere. Huh? You wonder what that was. I love all the choices. They're so pretty. So cool. So many of them. You jumped straight in the air in shock. But if you first up defensively, you screamed. You rubbed your shoulder, feeling whatever it was. It was a ghost you deduced. Huh? You wonder what that was. It was kind of weird. You slowly glanced down to the right and to the left, trying to get an idea of where the poke could have come from. No one was there. Oh no, it is a ghost. The neighbor was empty except for you. You've mostly settled on it being a mystery forever if you hadn't noticed there was the thing left behind from the encounter. Sitting there in between the muddy brown blades of grass was something new. Oh, a paper airplane. Hello, who threw that? A paper airplane? That's my cute character? Adorable. Who would throw this at a stranger, and why would they disappear after doing it? As you considered those questions, your gaze shifted back towards the right, the side of the street where the tap came from. Whoever sent this to you had to have gone that way. You crouched down to grab it, wanting to get some kind of answer to what happened. The paper didn't feel the same crinkly, cracky way most normal people did. It was thicker somehow, almost like a piece of cloth. It was cottony. That wasn't the only part that stood out. The page was a tan color with dark brown lines, not white and blue or white and black or something regular. More question to add to the confusion. Where would paper like this have come from? You turned the paper airplane around in your hands and squinted your eyes keenly. There were pencil markings on the underside. The paper had scribbles and maybe even words on it. There was enough of a sign to undo the shape of someone had put together. Pull the flaps of the plane and flatten it out between your palms as best you could. It was true, the paper airplane had a message on it. Well, maybe, you thought. There were some words on it, but not a lot, and they were on different lines from each other. Read over each tiny part from top to bottom. Hello. Go out. Hide out. And then in the bottom corner was Triumph Stellar. Hey, who knows my name? Your name! It had been personally addressed to you. It had been addressed to you personally. There was no mistake that you were the one meant to get the plane. You scrunched up your face. A person wrote stuff on a piece of paper, turned into a paper airplane, threw it at another person, then the message they sent was that? This was too weird for you. So cool. Mystery worth solving. Stupid. This scared you. This is something. It only kind of made sense in that they were all real words, but none of them meant anything together, so you weren't sure what to make of it. You had to tell your mommy right now, you're going to get to the bottom of this. Jen exploring this time to go back to the house. Like, I'm done. Just wanted to get back to looking around. Let's get to the bottom of this. Someone or something had to have sent you this. You weren't going to stop until you found out who and why. Past the parts of the light shone through the clouds and the parts where it got darker, you began your investigation by heading in the same direction the paper had hit you from. The half circle of houses was out of the sight out of sight by the time the normal sidewalk ended, and it really ended. Instead of connecting to another street with homes or stores, there was the car road behind you and a bunch of trees and plain ground in front. Interesting. Going down the road would have to bring you to the rest of the town eventually, but you were sure that would be straying too far, like your mommy warned against. That was okay. You had other options. Oh, what a pretty sight. Standing in between the dark trunks and bright leaves were two lines stamped out through the grass. They were in opposite directions. It was a crossroads. One led more towards where the neighborhood was, but back further, right on the edge of where the forest started. The other went completely into the trees, a walking path for the people who lived there. You stood there at the start of this turning point in the woods, in your life, feet poised to move over the stirring thicket floor. You knew exactly which one you wanted, but you didn't know where you were going. How could you know which one was better? You'd never tried either, and there was no clues on where to start now. It was a puzzle that made you pause. You thought about it as hard as you could, even shutting your eyes to focus. Then finally, I can pick one. I do like a save. Let's do a save before this path. Well, go to the right. You went along the tree line to your right. And your quest continued. The path ended up being kind of a trick. You ran out of dirt to walk on after only a minute or two, and it became plain grass everywhere. Luckily, you only had to keep following the curved bend of brush and tree trunks that separate the forest from not the forest to know you were going where you had planned to go. And as you strolled even farther, something came to view. You almost didn't notice at first. A playground. Stretching about as high as the trees and made out of practically the same colored wood was a tower sort of thing. The bottom of it was mostly empty space with thin stick poles at the corners and only one full wall. There were little fake rocks stuck to the boards on the wall side, probably for people to climb on. Above was the actual floor of a slanty roof and railings around. Some ropes dangled off in multiple places. The thought came to you that had the same thing as a treehouse, except not in a tree. Definitely wasn't a real house. You might have found a local playground. Curiously, you moved closer until you were right in front, and that's when you came to shock realization that there was something up there at the top. I squinted to try seeing more. Try seeing more clearly, and your neck bent back so far your head might fall off. You could make out a lumpy pile. A lumpy pile? You just stood there looking. You shouted out. You gave the base of the tower a swift kick. That worked. You gave the base of the tower a good shake of both hands. You grabbed on the part sticking out to try climbing up there. Yeah, I tried climbing. Reaching one hand higher and the other closer to your anchor yourself, you grabbed hold of different fake rocks attached to the wall. You then situated one of your feet onto the lowest climbing point. You huffed and strained your arms to pull. The foot of the rock then carried all your weight and lifted the other into the air. It was tricky, but you got the second foot against a rock of its own that was higher up than the first. You made it fully off the ground. The sudden sound of clattering ruckus from inside of the fort made you flinch in place. It was a scrambling, thudding noise that you knew came from movement. The lump stopped being just a lump. It shot up, bent right over the railing, peered down and saw you. Hello? Oh, it's a guy. Hey. It was a kid. Who were they? That's all you wonder. You couldn't look away from their eyes. They were really deep brown. They had a pointy hairline, you noticed. Like the fluffy hooded coat they had on. Oh, the pretty person you ever seen. Yeah. The hand started to shake as you held yourself against the wall. You had to step back under the grass. The person stayed put. A silent standoff, a surprise played out between you and the stranger. Then all together, one half of their mouth, one of their eyebrows, and one of their hands shifted upward. That lopsided pose they had and the fact that they were at the top of the tower made them seem pretty in charge here. Who are you? Why are you in my backyard? Oh, they were in charge here. I'm trying. I know it's your backyard. I couldn't tell. Sorry. Looking for something. Who are you? Hi. Your backyard? There's no fence or anything? You're so pretty. It's absolutely nothing. Hi. Hi. At that, they pressed their palms with their hands hard against the railing, then used it to kick their legs up over the sides and throw themselves right off the fort. There was a powerful crunch and gust of air when the person hit the ground just a little to the side of where you were. And on their feet, crouching into a ball and making the hood of their jacket flip over their head from the impact from falling so far down. The person stayed like that for long enough that the leaves they stirred up settled quietly into the grass again. And the kids straightened themselves out with more poise than you could have expected and got the fluffy hood on. Held off, squared shoulders, chin up, and with one hand they pushed the hood down over their back again. They were confident they knew how to show it. That's that. What? What do you mean? Why would you do that? That was so cool. Seemed dangerous. That was so dumb to do. Can I try jumping off there? You could have crushed me. Your little speeches was impressive. Your little speeches was crazy. They took hold of the open sides of their jacket and flapped them out, shaking off bits of sticks and whatever other stuff they got on it when they clattered the dirt. Anyway, they shifted their head around to get their hair back over their shoulders the way it was before, and then jabbed a finger into their own chest. I'm Mr. Quilin? Q-I-U-N-L-I-N. It means both of Key's arms spread out openly, gesturing to the wide world all around. Autumn. Nice to meet you. Oh, okay. His name means Autumn. I like that. What's your name? My name is Shryant. Great. But what's your whole name, Shryant? It's just enough that you gave me your name in the end. I'm Miss Shryant Stellar. That was perfect, Miss Shryant Stellar. Wait, and also, how old are you? You seem pretty similar to me. 10 years old. Double digits. Double digits. We slapped his fingerless gloved hands onto the front of his chest to show just how taken aback he was. Whoa, so am I. Nobody else close by was exactly 10 before, but now there's you. And you're gonna grow up someday, and I'm gonna grow up too, but that's never gonna stop us from being the same age. Cool. Oh yeah. Yeah, that's great. Okay. You're the same age, just act older than you do. You still act older than I do. No. You just stood there quietly. You shrugged it over. You gave a big thumbs up. Big thumbs up. More 10-year-olds were better than less. But the talk you were having ended with a clear clap from Kui to bring it to a close. Now that we're people who know each other, I still want to hear what you're doing. I lived my whole life in this town, in this neighborhood, in that house. Never seen you anywhere. There's gotta be something going on. Well... You reached right into your pocket and presented the mystery paper to Kui, wanting your explanation. But before you even said anything about it, Kui wheezed with a tight grimace. He looked as stiff as a wood tower behind him, just like that. You're... He stammered and babbled and pointed his finger all around the space that was sort of in front of him until the world finally came to him. A sorcerer! What now? No. What? No, wait. Kui threw his hands up higher toward his shoulders, the sudden movement making sure nothing interrupted his train of thought. You're a thief! That's why you're here to rob my house. Wow, no. That makes no sense. That's why I'm gonna steal your stuff. No, you're right for magic. A sorcerer and a thief. Not a sorcerer or a thief. What do you sound so excited about that? You think I'm gonna rob you? You didn't know what else to say to that. I would have let you know if I was gonna steal your thing. Makes no sense. It makes exact sense. A whole dollar. You just don't want to admit you're a criminal. Do you really think I'm a robber? He got all fluttered with his laugh and the waving his fingers. No, you're just a kid. But you got some good tricks. We tucked one of his hands inside his jacket. He moved it around and there, hemming the whole time. There was some kind of secret pocket or compartment in that coat. Ah ha ha. Just as you thought, when he moved his hand, he was grabbing onto something. It was a little notebook. The edges were bent up and crumbly, probably from being squished a lot of ways and a lot of times. And there were papers sticking out in weird ways that made you think they weren't even attached to the book anymore. They just smashed another page to keep them in place. But the thing you noticed were the colors, sand with dark brown lines. It was a paper from the airplane. We did send it. Lee flipped open the book, tapped in a slow, considering rhythm at the front page with the back of his knuckles, and said what you wanted to know without you having to do anything. That's my special paper with my notes on it, but it's not in my notebook. It was in your pocket. You must have done the thing that's sleight of hand? Slay of hand? That's what you did to snatch my stuff in the blink of an eye while I was standing right here. So you're a magician. Or a pickpocket. That's all I could be. He shifted on his feet, putting one hand to his hip and using the other to make a waggling gesture with the notebook. He was really confident accusation against you. Can you show me how you do it? But that waving motion Kui did was too much of the old notebook. It bent up in half upwards and downwards with the momentum of his owner's arm. Some of the papers slid out. They drifted to the ground lightly, same way leaves fell from trees. You stared right at them, sitting on the ground, feel like that. Kui didn't. You've lost it, Kui. You're right. I don't know how your paper disappeared from you. You were being sarcastic. Maybe you just dropped a paper and someone picked it up? Nah, I never lose things. He said it proudly, still not paying attention to the papers cluttered around his feet. They were pretty much just waiting to blow away in the wind at that point. There are papers on the ground right now, you know? I think you might want to look down. That is humongous. Oh, okay. You ever lose things? You already lost more papers. Decided to let Kui figure it out on his own if he ever did. You hope you never notice that can be too funny. I think you might want to look down. His eyes widened. He lifted the notebook over his head and twisted his feet outwards, more to clear his view of the grass below. Finally spotted the missing pages. Whoa! Thanks. I like his little portrait on there. That's cute. In the middle of talking, he dropped to his knees to scoop up the loose papers, and it took a second for each one to be gathered. He leaned off his knees onto his butt and made a little oof sound. Then he got his feet against the ground while pushing up from his hands, still clutching the papers so he could stand again. With that successful rescue mission done, Kui delicately flipped through the notebook, inserting the loose papers along the way between different pages. He went all the way to the end, and Kui's complete book was pressed shut once more. Hey, that really helps, right? A beaming smile directed right into your face, almost had you covering your eyes, but before that happened, he looked away. Kui twisted to the side to better rummage inside the hidden pocket of his jacket. He made super sure that the entire stack of papers made it back safely this time. Heard a sigh of relief. In an even swooping move, Kui tilted his head back again over his shoulder. Oh my gosh, stop playing so much. Can I turn that off? I don't know. In an even swooping move, Kui tilted his head back over his shoulder to reveal his face again. The bright expression from before was completely gone. He had that smirk again. So, did you see that? I didn't lose anything. Ow. Are you kidding? You lose stuff all the time. You just find it again sometimes. Only because of me. Next time I'm not going to tell you about it. Cheeks got hot from embarrassment. You're a real idiot, you said entirely. You're an idiot, you said jokingly. Broke into laughter. Wow, Kui was cool, you thought. You broke into laughter. That was not at all how you expected him to reply, but it was amazing. You had to slouch forward to hold your stomach because it was that funny. Kui's fun, whiffy reaction came out as a set of snickers. His cheeky move drifted away once those were done. Kui twisted to the side to better rummage inside the hidden pocket of his jacket. He made sure that the notebook made it back to its normal spot. When he tilted his face back toward you, he was quiet and thoughtful. This is very mysterious. You vanished and a brand new kid appeared in my backyard, all out of nowhere. I don't get it. Hey, I'm your neighbor now. I moved in the middle house on the street. Oh, the new neighbors, that's right, that's you. It makes so much sense. And Kui shook his head side to side, flopping dark brown strands of hair around and trying to sort out his thoughts. But if you're my new neighbor, not a thief or sorcerer, how did you know that was my paper? I didn't know, not for sure. What, you were showing my notes off to everyone you saw in the world? Yeah, that was kind of the idea. Huh? You breathe in, let it out, and then try to explain the weird situation that didn't even make sense to you. I got here today with my mom. She's waiting for the real estate agent, so I had to go spend time doing something. I went down to the road and a paper airplane hit me in the shoulder. Nobody was there. We nodded along, probably not getting everything you were talking about, but curious enough to just keep listening. I picked it up and opened the plane and saw the stuff written on it. I thought the person throwing the plane was trying to give me a message. I've been looking for whoever did it since. When I met you, I had to check if you were the one who did it. You went over the steps that led you to this point as best you could, and Kui joined in with the conclusion. It wasn't me who made an airplane, but the page and things are mine. He put his hands on his hips as he thought hard about the info he learned from you. That means someone else somehow got a piece of paper from my notebook and used that to make the plane they chucked at you for some crazy reason? I guess so, but if you're the only one who wrote that, how did you know my name? That was on the note. And what were the other words supposed to mean? Hello? Go out? Hide out? Trying stellar. Doesn't make sense. Oh! He cracked a smile and flickered out his arms to start his own explanation. That was just stuff I was gonna do. What now? Counting 1, 2, 3 on his fingers, Kui listed off each part of the letter simply. Hello? Say hi to the people around. Go out. Visit the town or another neighborhood or whatever. Hideout means go to my hideout. Kui stopped the countdown to pat the sturdy wooden wall behind him with pride. Right here. He's so cute. Fine, I get it now. Oh, I like your hideout. It's all stupid, she said sharply. That's so stupid, you said amused. Your hideout's in your own backyard? If that's a hideout, why would you tell me it's a hideout? You didn't speak. I get it now. I'm getting it too. Alright, yeah. For your name being there, my mom and dad told me. They talked about how people were moving in next door and how there was going to be a kid my age and that their name was Shrine Stellar. It was cool to me, so I wrote it down. That way I wouldn't forget. I even took out and read that page a lot to make sure I'd be something I remembered. Looks like I forgot after all. Okay, that's it. Thanks for trying to remember anyway. I don't know why you're confident when you said get everything wrong, you said, put off. Such a scatterbrain. You're such a scatterbrain, you said fondly. Can't believe you forgot who I was after your parents told you everything. You're a bit of a scatterbrain, but that's fine. It's cute. We patted the front of his jacket with all the jewelry in the world. You guessed that was where the pocket with the notebook was set. More like an organized brain. I'm gonna stick with you now. Whoever took my paper is still out there and you were their target. Maybe you're not a sorcerer thief, but what if the paper airplane person is? We'll figure it all out and you won't have to worry about anything. Okay, I think I wasn't gonna ask. Well, alright, if you really want to. Yeah, I could use more eyes looking. Thanks, would have been scared to go alone. One thing I needed my own. No! Sorry, I'm going by myself. No way, you have to stay here. Not in agreement. Super, do you have a plan? You stopped talk, accepting you're now a partner on this trip and laid out the next part. Yeah, I know which way we should go now. We have to go back to the spot in the forest with 2 dirt paths. I know that place. It's right nearby. Let's do this. And so you started to walk along the autumn tree line, now with your new partner in the adventure. He came alongside you with bold, certain steps. You were going to find that paper airplane person. Soon you reached the head of the path. You were at the crossroad once more, but you brought back knowledge and this new boy with you. That's where we just were. You threw a thumb over your shoulder while walking ahead to show what you meant. And down there is just the road, but I haven't looked at that other way on that side. You switched the arm you bent back to point straight ahead across the forked passage, directing Quee's gaze to the second dirt implant. With a tilt of his head, Quee grinned in agreement. That makes sense to me. Decision easily made. Your and his crunching footsteps started up again in unison. And still your quest continued. Once you went through the foresty path, you had truly entered the wild woods, nothing else surrounded you any longer. Nature spread across the land with a narrow dirt line and fence being the only sign anyone had walked in the spot before you. People are only visitors here. Golden and red leaves gently rustle against each other, and thick clumps with each tree's branches blowing into the others nearby. It was enough to keep the sky and sun out almost completely, but the leaves burned bright with the light passing over them from above. The foot-made passage continued to twist around up higher into the mountainside, farther than you could see. You were amazed. It was sort of nice. You felt uneasy. Per the neighborhood of the woods. It was dirty and icky. It's dirty. This is your kind of place. Grass hiked. The boring, ready coming out of the forest running. Dirty and icky. I'd say you're amazed in a way. It was sort of nice. If your wide and wondrous gaze drawn every which way, you let yourself flow deeper into the thicket. You watched your face. Your good mood was enough to rub off on him. I was glad I didn't say it was icky. I hang out in the neighborhood or the other parts of town most of the time, but woods can be cool too. Really? Why don't you visit more often? It's right by your house. I lived here forever. Every day of my whole life. Stuff's always going on with people in the neighborhood and in town. The forest is the same whenever you come back. Trees, bushes, some birds. Kind of weird when you think about it. Besides the plants looking different when the season changes, it's like time doesn't exist here. Casually, Quee lifted on his hands from the sides, on a gesture them downwards to the forest floor. And hey, you know, this path we're walking on has always been here ever since before I was born. Even before I was born. He strode along, kicking up a little piece of rock on the road and looking straight ahead. It's probably been around for as long as this place has been Golden Grove, or longer. For a second he was thinking so hard the smile he almost always had went away. Then something made him chuckle and he pointed over to the side. But that fence is kinda new. I remember there just being the dirt when I was little. That's the only thing that's ever gotten different around here. Wow. The quiet bubble that existed here in the forest, away from the town, popped from a sudden unnatural clatter. We stopped. I'm going to end this episode here. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy and have an awesome day.